Hi there, my name is Ashley, and I am a nutritional therapy practitioner. And I have been in this practice for almost 20 years as a second career. And today I'm making a video. This is the first video I have made in 14 years since my adorable little brandy glazed carrot video. Anyway, I have no script. I have not practiced this. I have nothing written. I haven't even taken a shower today. But I'm doing this video because I was so strongly compelled to get this information out today that here I am. This is why I'm doing this video. So today was a rare day for me to pop onto social media to see a couple of posts that came my way via the nutritional information that I follow. I'll just leave it at that. I don't really spend time on social media, but today I started perusing around a bit. I came across two stories with people that are riddled with cancer, that are lying in a hospital bed, doing their posts from their hospital bed, talking about their cancer. These people did not explain how they possibly got this cancer, which, whatever, I mean, there's many reasons for getting cancer. But what I found, worth sharing is that both of these people have followed a vegan diet for many, many, many years, like decades. And they both have these huge, presence on social media. They talk about, they've written cookbooks and, they talk about healthy food and all of this kind of stuff. And here they are, riddled with cancer, these two people, totally different people. And they're not even talking about their diets. They're not even talking about really how they got cancer. They're just talking about their treatments and the fact that, they both just had surgery and they are riddled with this cancer. So what I will tell you is that I have been seeing this very same phenomena, if you will, of people following certain diets that really are not how our physiologies are designed. So in other words, we are omnivores, and that is a difficult thing to argue. So I'm going to go ahead and read some information in this video, and I hope that this information gets out to the masses, because I would guess that every single person watching this video knows somebody that's riddled with cancer and that may be following a diet that contains no animal foods. Okay, so here we go. This is from the Weston A. Price Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization, if any of you are not familiar with it. They advocate for regenerative farming and the healing arts. So this is a foundation that is really about spreading information, about educating people on healthy diets in terms of what humans really are supposed to be eating. Okay, not very eloquently put, but there you go. So this is a pamphlet that's available to everyone, and it's been around for quite some time. I've been handing it out to my clients in my practice for almost 20 years. Okay, so this is Dangers of Vegan and Vegetarian Diets. The danger of a vegetarian, and especially vegan diet, is nutritional deficiencies. Certain vital nutrients occur only in animal foods. This is true. These nutrients are particularly important for fetal development and for growing children. Vitamin A, critical for healthy eyes, skin, bones, hormone production, and immune function. Vitamin A plays a leading role in the formation of the fetus and the prevention of birth defects. Healthy populations consume amounts in the range of 20,000 to 30,000 IU vitamin A per day. Best sources are cod liver oil, liver, butter, and egg yolks from grass-fed animals. Okay, vitamin D, essential for growth, healthy bones, protection against tetany, convulsions, heart failure in newborns, protection against type 1 diabetes, and protection against cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, obesity, arthritis, and multiple sclerosis. Vitamin D is necessary for the function of the body's feel-good chemicals and protects against depression. I will tell you that one of the most common health conditions in people following vegan diets is depression. I've seen it in my practice for almost 20 years. Okay, continuing on. Best sources of vitamin D are cod liver oil, lard, and other pork products, shrimp, oily fish, and egg yolks from grass-fed poultry. Vitamin K2, critical for ensuring that calcium is put into the hard tissues, bones and teeth, and protection of the soft tissues, such as the arteries and kidneys, from calcification. So in other words, it protects those tissues from calcification. In other words, various cardiovascular issues are caused by calcification of the soft tissue. Okay, vitamin K is required for the synthesis of brain cells and for reproduction. Vitamin K2 occurs in certain fermented plant foods, such as natto, which is a Japanese fermented soybean product that most Americans can't tolerate the taste or smell of it. It's one of the most nutritious foods on the planet. But best sources for vitamin K2 in the Western diet are poultry liver, so chicken liver, and aged full-fat cheeses. Okay? Vitamin B12, needed for red blood cell production, protection from toxins, and for mental health. B12 deficiency can cause paranoia, obsessive compulsion disorder, tendency to irrational anger, and dementia. All animal foods provide B12, but liver is the best source. There is no B12 in plant foods. No B12 naturally occurring in plant foods. Okay, B6. Vitamin B6 is involved in brain function, production of histamine, the storage of carbohydrate as glycogen, and the synthesis of many important compounds. We use the plant form of B6 much less effectively. Whoops, my screen just went into screensaver. We use the plant form of B6 much less effectively than the animal form. Best sources are muscle meats, seafood, organ meats, and raw milk. Zinc, a cofactor in hundreds of enzymes and needed for hormone receptors and production of hormones such as insulin. Required for cell replication, skin integrity, immunity, digestion, glucose tolerance, high metabolic rate, and sense of taste. Zinc is very difficult to absorb from plant foods. Best sources are red meat and shellfish. Iron, needed for red blood cells, energy, and immunity. Iron is best assimilated from liver and red meat. Calcium. Dairy foods are the best source of usable calcium in Western cultures. EPA and DHA. Critical for brain function. The best sources are cod liver oil, organ meats, and seafood. Arachidonic acid. Yes, arachidonic acid. Critical for healthy cell-to-cell junctures in the skin and intestinal tract, and for life-saving inflammation response. Best sources are animal fats and organ meats. Amino acids. In principle, the body can make taurine, carnitine, creatine, all these amino acids. but production is difficult in infants and in many adults. These amino acids are critical for many functions in the body, including energy and brain function. Best sources are meat, seafood, and organ meats. Cholesterol. Infants and millions of people with genetic defects, infants and millions of people with genetic defects cannot make the cholesterol they need for growth, brain function, and mental health. Only animal foods provide cholesterol. Okay, on to the next page. Here we go. Sorry, I have to go like this. Oh, you can read my Awakened to Bacon hat a little better. Okay, these are myths and truths. Myth. The hungry could be fed if grazing land were cultivated for crops. Truth. Only about 11% of the land on Earth can be farmed, a percentage that cannot be increased without deforestation, irrigation, chemical fertilizers, and other destructive ecological practices. Myth. Meat consumption contributes to famine and depletes the Earth's natural resources. Truth. Properly carried out through managed grazing, animal husbandry builds soil fertility and restores deficiencies created through grain production. 1 billion people on Earth depend exclusively on animal foods for survival. Small mixed-use farms are the answer for personal and planetary health. Myth. Livestock is a major source of greenhouse gas emissions. I love this one. Truth. Only a small percentage of atmospheric methane comes from ruminant flatulence. So, ruminant flatulence is basically gas, farts coming from ruminant animals like cows. Okay, just a little explanation there. The largest source is the burning of fossil fuels for electricity, heat, and transportation. A surprising source is emissions from wetlands. Raising animals on pasture is the most effective way of pulling carbon from the atmosphere and returning it to the soil. Myth. Beef production requires 2,500 gallons of water per pound of beef. Truth. This figure is widely quoted by vegetarians without supporting evidence. The beef industry estimates that a pound of beef requires 435 gallons of water, mostly for grain production to feed the animal. Pasture-raised beef requires only the water that the animal drinks, which works out to about 30 gallons of water per pound of beef, about the amount used in one shower, which I have not taken today. Okay, where am I? So, by contrast, it takes 500 gallons of water to grow the wheat for 1 pound of bread. Myth. Vegetarians are not involved in killing animals. Truth. About 300 animals per acre are killed for the production of grain, often in gruesome ways. Only 1 animal per acre is killed for the production of beef. People who fly, drive, play string instruments, talk on the phone, and take part in many other ordinary activities also rely on animal products. Myth. The China study found that people who ate more plant foods were healthier. So if anybody out there is not familiar with the China study, you need to be familiar with it. And then you need to read Denise Minger's book, Death by Food Pyramid. So that's that. Anyway, I'm going to read the myth again. The China study found that people who ate more plant foods were healthier. Truth. Truth. What's said in the best-selling book, The China Study, does not match the findings of the actual China, Cornell, Oxford study. This is true. This is 100% true. In which there was no correlation with more or less disease in people eating a lot of plant foods. Myth. Vitamin B12 can be obtained from plant sources. Truth. Sorry. B12 is only available from animal foods. Many vegans concede that those avoiding animal foods should play it safe and take a B12 supplement. Myth. Our needs for vitamin D can be met by sunlight. Truth. We only make sufficient vitamin D from sunlight at midday during the summer months if you are living naked in the tropics. I'm sure there are people living naked in the tropics, but most of us don't. Okay, so traditional cultures obtained this essential nutrient year-round by eating vitamin D-rich animal foods. Okay. Myth. The body's need for vitamin A can be met entirely from plant foods. Truth. The body converts carotenes from plants into true vitamin A very poorly. So carotenes, meaning like the vitamin A that's in a carrot, is actually not a true form of vitamin A. It's beta carotene. So the body has to convert that beta carotene into the true form of vitamin A. So that's a conversion that has to happen, and our bodies do not do that very well. So again, the body's need for vitamin A can be met entirely from plant foods. Truth. The body converts carotenes from plants into true vitamin A very poorly. Most people cannot do this sufficiently, and some cannot do it at all. Okay, myth. Vegetarians live longer. Truth. Some do, some don't. Health-conscious vegetarians who eat pastured dairy and eggs may well live longer than omnivores eating processed, packaged, and fast foods. Makes sense, right? Analysis of studies on vegetarianism show that vegetarians have a greater all-cause death rate and even a greater death rate from heart disease. Myth. Vegetarian protects against cancer. Okay, I've been waiting for this the whole entire time. I'm going to read it again. Myth. Vegetarianism protects against cancer. Truth. The science on this is inconsistent and contradictory at best. Vegetarians are particularly prone to cancers of the nervous system and the reproductive organs. Soy, a staple in many vegetarian diets, can cause, contribute, and accelerate the growth of some cancers, particularly breast cancer. Myth. Eating meat causes heart disease. Oh, God, this is a huge topic. Anyway, truth. Vegetarians have as much arterial sclerosis as meat eaters and higher levels of homocysteine. Heart disease is associated with consumption of trans fats, refined vegetable oils, and sugar, all of which come from plants. Myth. Meat eating causes osteoporosis. Truth. Meat eaters do not have more osteoporosis than vegetarians. Nutrients required for healthy bones, such as vitamin D, collagen, and calcium, are either better absorbed or exclusively found in animal foods. Myth: the human body is not designed for meat consumption. Truth: humans are equipped with a mixed feeder's teeth and digestive system. Right? Look at these. I mean, what, you think that's just for like tofu? Okay, humans are equipped with a mixed feeder's teeth and digestive system. The intestinal tract of a human being is more like that of a dog than a sheep. Animals that live on plant foods do not manufacture hydrochloric acid, have from 2 to 4 stomachs, and a longer intestinal tract than humans. Myth: meat putrefies in the gut. Truth: the human digestive system is particularly designed to digest meat, starting with a stomach that produces hydrochloric acid. This is for digesting meat proteins. Enzymes in the small intestine break down proteins into peptides, which the body absorbs through the gut wall. Myth: eating animal flesh causes violent, aggressive behavior in humans. Truth: some children can grow well on vegetarian diets rich in dairy products from pastured cows and eggs from pastured chickens. Children brought up on vegan diets have poorer bone health. Sorry, I missed one. Sorry, I'm going to go back. Myth: eating animal flesh causes violent, aggressive behavior in humans. There is no science to support this claim. However, we do know that vegetarian diets lower serum cholesterol, and low cholesterol is associated with violent and antisocial behavior in humans, monkeys, and dogs. So this goes into a whole other subject, but cholesterol is so critical for every aspect of our physiology. And I would encourage you to really understand the roles of cholesterol in the body before you start taking those statins to reduce your cholesterol. Okay, here we go. I'm back on track. A vegetarian diet is safe for children. Some children can grow well on vegetarian diets rich in dairy products from pastured cows and eggs from pastured chickens. Children brought up on vegan diets have poorer bone health and reduced mental capacity compared to children brought up on diets containing animal foods. Rampant tooth decay in the baby teeth is common among children born to vegan mothers. Myth: animal products are unhealthy because they contain numerous harmful toxins. Truth: all foods contain toxins if raised with pesticides and herbicides. It is important to choose animal and plant foods that have been raised without toxic chemical inputs. The nutrients we get from animal foods, such as vitamins A and B12, sulfur, and zinc, help the body detoxify. Okay, that's it. That's the pamphlet. That's my little video for today. Sorry, it was kind of long and not rehearsed in any way. But I will just leave you with a little story, let's say, about my parents. My parents ate meat and butter every single day of their lives. They both lived to be in their 90s. Actually, my mother was almost 90. She was 89. My father lived to be almost 91. And they did other things in their life that were not so healthy. So, towards the end, they had some issues, but they ate meat and copious amounts of butter, literally every single day. I, being the nutritional therapist that I am, also eat animal products and copious amounts of butter every single day. And I am 60 years old. and I feel great. Knock on wood, I have no known health problems, and I am not about to stop eating meat and butter because those are what humans are designed to eat. I feel incredibly sad for the people that are in the hospital riddled with cancer that have been following a vegan diet. Now, I am not saying that their cancer was caused by veganism. I don't know, but personally, I'm pretty confident that there's a connection there. So that's my video message for today. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to start answering your questions in the comments if anybody ever ends up seeing this video. And thank you for watching. Bye for now.